Hi boys and girls, the next video is inspired by Doctor Who, to have a go at a Davros style face like this. And for this picture I've used the following things: a pencil, fine liner pen, slightly thicker felt tip pen, and a couple of colouring pencils. Alright, so this figure is quite an interesting character, loads and loads of wrinkles, which is pretty good fun to draw and build up. So to start off with, I'm going to draw a nice overly sketch of a head shape, and the bridge of the nose is quite a central part of the picture there, okay? And then this is almost like a curve of the C, for the bottom of the nose, a little bit of nostrils here, and then these bits of the nose like that, which comes down to this heavily creased cheeks here, lots and lots of wrinkles, and this kind of grumpy face. Now, interestingly, with Davros, he has got eye sockets here, but there's no eyes in them. They're kind of sealed up with wrinkly skin, which we'll come back to. And the bit that the focal point is drawn to is this eye in the middle of his forehead, which is a glowing blue eye. We'll have a look at how to colour that in a second. All right, so I've done my pencil sketch here, which is kind of rough, but that's okay. And I'm going to start to build it up with my pen. Okay, I'm going to start off with my fine liner pen. And again, the nose is where I'm going to start from here. We've got some really dark nostrils, side of the nostrils here. Then we've got these wrinkles coming down around the cheeks, wrinkly chin. And with wrinkles, you can just draw lines coming out in different directions, or lines coming from one direction, depending on the type of wrinkle it is. I've got a mouth here with quite thin lips, lots of wrinkles coming off here. So each of these wrinkles that I'm doing, I can build up and build up as I go back to it. That's kind of the fun of developing my picture. Round the head. I've got my eye sockets here, and these are all sealed up, so I kind of draw some quite heavy wrinkles here of all this kind of skin or scar tissue that's grown over where the eye should be. Okay, and you can see that. And then the eye, now the eye is actually the focal point of the picture, so I'm going to come back to that with some colour in a minute, but I'm adding more and more wrinkles and details. You can see these lines, and this is the fun. You build up these lines more and more and more and more and more and more. So you could spend hours and hours doing this, should you want to. Okay, then we've got our neck coming down here, our collar, and Davros wears these kind of silvery shoulder pads as well, which we can add like that. Okay, interestingly, he's got a kind of metal frame around his head. So I'm going to draw a couple of these very simplified sticks coming out here, like so. And then we'll join these up. And what we've got here is you've got your very basic first draft of your character, like so. And as you can see, guys, I am rushing this a little bit for the video. You can take all the time you want to add to this. Okay, so I would really enjoy working on these wrinkles. You can see with this one, I've done some heavy shading here. I've built this up and up and up and up and up and up. And I'm going to have a look at the eye now. Okay, so with a glowing eye, it's glowing blue eye, but actually the center of the eye is going to be white. And we can create quite a cool glowing effect by starting off with a dark blue around the outside. Okay, so I carefully go around this, and then have some lines making their way towards the center of this eye. This is my dark blue. Okay, then I'm going to change my color and use my lighter blue And I'm going to go round again, but keeping the very center, what would be the pupil, white. Okay, so the viewer looking at this picture is drawn towards this kind of terrible magical eye, like so. So there we've got the eye, and now comes the really fun bit, okay, the building up all this heavy shading and detail. Now there's heavy shading around here, so I'm using my thicker pen. You don't have to use a thicker pen, okay, this is a kind of quicker way of doing it. What you could do is just add hatching and cross hatching and further cross hatching to build up that depth, but this is a kind of shortcut, as you like. So I'm building up these wrinkles here. Under the chin, there tends to be no light under the chin, so in all images that tends to be heavily shaded, unless of course there is a light shining from the bottom, from underneath. Okay, so add a little bit of these, some wrinkles here, and I'm going to go back to my fine liner, and I'm going to be thinking about building this up. So I'll do a number of lines going in this direction. Okay, this is coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up, and I'm going to do some hatching, build that up with a bit of cross hatching, and you can see how you can build up. And this is where you really get to play around with your shading, guys. This is really fun. You can take your time. As I've said in previous videos, you might want to have a little bit of a break, maybe do this for a bit, then leave it and come back to it. I might come back to this one that I've been working on. You can see here that I've done the mouth, and there's wrinkles coming off the mouth, and I can add more and more detail here until I'm really happy with what's happening. Okay, I've also used a little bit of colour here. I've used some brown and yellow, but you can mix that up a little bit as well. You can experiment. Most of my detail and shading comes from the pen, so the colour is just a little bit of light colouring. You get the impression of how we can build that up and up and up and up and up and up. Okay, so I hope you give it a go, and I hope you enjoy doing so. Take your time, enjoy it, and if you want to make it a little bit less Doctor Who like and a little bit more your own, go for it. It's exactly what this kind of activity is for. All right, guys, enjoy, take care.